All right, so get this, right? You're just chilling, scrolling on your phone, and bam, notification. New order, but not just any order. Oh no, this one is international, like all the way from, I don't know, maybe Japan?
Whoa, that's awesome.
Right, that's exactly the kind of awesome thing we're going to be diving into today.
Nice.
We talked about taking your baking global.
Going worldwide. Love it.
Yeah, and to help us on this journey, we've got this really cool podcast script called Baking Beyond Borders: How to Sell Worldwide.
Catchy title, right? It is, and it's super relevant, especially now when it's easier than ever to connect with people, all over the world.
Totally. But I gotta say, just thinking about all the stuff you gotta figure out, shipping, like payments, all that, kind of makes my head spin.
Well, yeah, it can seem overwhelming, but the script does a good job breaking it all down into these five main steps. And the first step actually focuses on why going global is even a good idea.
Okay, so more than just, like selling more cookies.
Yeah, exactly. There's actually a lot more to it. Like, one thing the script highlighted was how going global can make your business, like, more flexible, more resilient.
Resilient.
Yeah, think about it. Like, if suddenly people in your area, aren't buying as many cookies, you got customers all over the world who might still be, right?
So it's like a safety net, like diversifying your portfolio or something, but with cookies.
Exactly. And beyond that, there's also, just something really cool about sharing your baking with a wider audience, reaching people who maybe haven't even heard of, like, your signature whatever, right?
Okay, yeah. I'm starting to see the appeal, but hold on. Let's get down to brass tacks here. How does someone actually get started with all this global stuff? Like, am I picturing mountains of paperwork?
Okay, so that's where platforms like Ebuyerbake.com come in. They actually make this whole process way easier.
Ebuyerbake.com, ah.
Yeah, they basically connect bakers with customers worldwide and handle a lot of the tricky stuff like international shipping and even, like, payment processing.
Okay, that takes a load off, but I'm still kind of stuck on, like, the first step. Setting up the online store. What does a good online store, like, even look like for a global bakery business?
Well, the first thing is first impressions, right? People have to be drawn in. And for a bakery, that starts with pictures, right? Like, high-quality photos are a must.
Oh, for sure. I'm a sucker for a good food pic. Like, if I see a photo of a gooey chocolate chip cookie, I'm sold.
Exactly. That's what you want, right? To stop people mid-scroll. And the script actually had some good tips on making those photos really pop, like using natural light, playing around with backgrounds.
Like those rustic, wooden boards and stuff. I'm picturing it.
Yeah, exactly. Little props, too, like a vintage teacup or a linen napkin, to create a mode.
I see. Yeah. But photos are only one part of it. What about the descriptions, like the actual words? How do you write in a way that will, like, appeal to everyone, everywhere?
That's where storytelling comes in. Instead of just saying, ingredients, flour, sugar, blah, 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 you got to tell a story, like maybe it's a family recipe, or maybe you got inspired by a trip you took, something personal.
Ah, so sell the experience, not just the cookie.
Exactly. Because, no matter where someone lives, everyone loves a good story.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's say I've got my online store, my photos are on point, my story's captivating. Now the real question, how do I actually get these cookies, cakes, whatever, to people across the world?
Right, yeah, shipping. That's the big one. And the script definitely dives into that.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the secret? How do you ship, like, a delicate macaron across the ocean and make sure it doesn't arrive as a pile of crumbs?
Well, first things first, choosing the right things to ship is super important. Like, some things just travel better than others, right?
So no, like, elaborate cakes with, like, fondant and stuff.
Yeah, probably not the best choice for, international shipping. Cookies, brownies, biscotti. Those are your friends.
Ah, the sturdy stuff. Got it.
Right? And then, when it comes to packaging those sturdy treats, you gotta go all out. Airtight containers, cushioning, maybe even a little ice pack for things that, are temperature sensitive.
Okay, good tips. Good tips. But what about cost? I mean, shipping international can't be cheap.
Yeah, good point. Shipping costs are a real thing. And that's another area where platforms like ebuyerbake.com can really help. They've got tools to calculate costs, compare different shipping options.
So you can find the best deals. Awesome. Okay, so we've got the online store, the shipping. Now, how do you actually reach these global customers? I mean, the internet is a big place. How do you get noticed?
You need a solid marketing strategy. And luckily, the script gave some really great advice on that.
Hit me with it. How do I make my little bakery stand out in a sea of, like, global bakeries?
Visuals. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, pictures, videos, everything.
I knew it. The power of the gram.
It's true, though. Beautiful photos of your stuff, behind-the-scenes videos of you baking, maybe even like quick little tutorials or recipe snippets, anything that'll grab people's attention.
Yeah, it's about showing off your personality, your style, right? Not just like, here's a cookie.
Exactly. Be authentic. Show what makes you unique, because people connect with that, especially online where there's just so much stuff out there.
Makes sense. But what about language barriers? Do I need to like translate everything into a million different languages?
Good question. And yeah, it can be a challenge. The script suggested like translation tools and maybe working with freelance translators to make your website and like your social media stuff accessible to more people. It's definitely an investment, but it could be worth it, right?
Okay, I'm taking notes here. Photos, stories, social media, translations. Anything else I need to be thinking about?
One thing the script emphasized that I thought was really interesting was understanding different cultures, right? Like what's considered a super yummy treat in one country might not be a hit in another.
Oh, right. Different tastes, different customs. I hadn't really thought of that.
Yeah, it's something to keep in mind. But honestly, the best thing about, the online world is that you can actually connect with people from all over and learn directly from them.
True. So it's about doing your research, asking questions, actually engaging with people.
Exactly. Build relationships, not just like transactions.
Love that. Okay, you've definitely got me thinking bigger, thinking globally. But I'm also thinking about our listeners, like the ones who are just starting out. What can they learn from the bakers who have like successfully gone global? The ones who've already done it.
Yeah, the script had some amazing stories about bakers who went global, like Lisa with her amazing shortbread cookies and Carlos with his gourmet panettone. Their stories are super inspiring.
All right, I'm hooked. Tell me more. In the next part of our deep dive, let's dig into their journeys and see what lessons we can bake up from their experiences.
Sounds delicious. We'll break it all down and see what kind of global insights we can extract. All right, you ready to hear about Lisa and Carlos?
Oh, totally. Hit me with those global baking success stories.
So Lisa was all about the shortbread cookies.
Classic.
But hers were like next level. She used local organic ingredients, gave them a unique twist.
Fancy shortbread. I like it. What about Carlos? What was his specialty?
Carlos was the panettone king, gourmet panettone, that Italian sweetbread, super popular around the holidays.
Ah, panettone. Yeah. Okay, so two totally different things, but both sound delicious. What were their biggest challenges, going global? Like what tripped them up?
Well, for Lisa, it was the tech stuff, honestly. Like, she was amazing in the kitchen, but setting up the online store, figuring out the whole international shipping thing, it was a lot.
Yeah, I can see that being overwhelming, especially if you're more of a like hands in the dough kind of person.
Exactly. And that's where like Ebuyerbake.com was a game changer for her. It took care of a lot of that so she could focus on, the baking.
Right. Makes sense. So what about Carlos? Did he face any like unique challenges with the panettone?
Well, panettone's pretty delicate, right? He had to figure out how to ship it so it wouldn't get like squidged or anything.
I can imagine shipping a delicate pastry across the world. That sounds stressful.
He actually ended up connecting with other bakers online in forums and stuff and got a lot of great tips that way. He also invested in like really good packaging to keep those panettones safe and sound.
Ah, so networking and being willing to spend a little money on the right packaging. Gotcha. Did the script mention anything about how they marketed their stuff to like international customers?
Oh yeah, for sure. Lisa was all over Instagram. Beautiful photos of her cookies, shots of like the countryside where she got her ingredients, really played up the whole experience.
Ooh, that's smart. Instagram's perfect for food, right? Visuals, visuals, visuals.
Exactly. She also did like contests and giveaways, encouraged people to share her stuff. Really got the word out there.
Clever. What about Carlos? Did he use Instagram too?
Carlos actually focused more on like building relationships with food bloggers and influencers. He sent them samples, they posted reviews.
Ah, the influencer route. Yeah, that can be super effective, especially when you're trying to break into a new market, build that trust. Did the script mention any like results they saw from all these efforts? Like, did it actually work?
Oh yeah, totally. Lisa's online sales like doubled in just a few months after she started shipping internationally. She was getting orders from like all over Europe, Asia, even Australia.
Wow, that's amazing. See, that's what I'm talking about. Global reach, baby. What about Carlos? Did he see similar success?
Totally. His panettone became like this sought-after thing in a bunch of different countries. He even started getting wholesale orders from like fancy food shops. Had to like hire more people to keep up with the demand.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so they both crushed it. But I gotta ask, did the script mention any like bumps in the road, any challenges they faced?
It did talk about like the importance of customer service, especially with international customers. You got to be on top of it.
Yeah, your makes sense. Different languages, time zones, all that.
Exactly. Like making sure you're responding to questions quickly. giving clear updates on shipping.
Basically holding their hand a little bit more just because there's like more that can go wrong, right?
Yeah, kind of. You got to be super reliable and like build that trust. Both Lisa and Carlos were really good at that. They were super responsive, used translation tools when they needed to.
So it's all about going the extra mile, especially when you're dealing with those global customers. Show them you care.
Exactly. You got to make sure those international customers feel valued, just like your local ones.
All right, I'm loving these insights, so inspiring. But let's shift gears a bit and think about our listener, the one who's like at the beginning of this whole global baking journey. What's the biggest lesson they should take away from Lisa and Carlos's success?
Honestly, I think the big takeaway is that going global is totally doable. Like, even for small-scale bakers. You don't have to be like a huge company or anything.
Yeah, it's about having a plan, being willing to like learn and adapt, and of course that amazing customer service.
For sure. And, don't forget those platforms like ebuyerbake.com. They can make the whole process so much smoother.
Exactly. It's all about embracing the possibilities. Like the world is out there waiting to taste your creations. Okay, so we've talked about the why and the how of going global, but there's one more piece to this puzzle.
Outstanding customer service. The final step.
Yes. Let's dive into that next and see how going above and beyond for your customers can really like make your bakery stand out on a global scale. All right, so we've covered like the why and the how of taking your baking global. But let's be real. What makes those customers, especially the global ones, like come back for more? What keeps them happy?
You're talking about customer service. It's the key. Like that's the fifth and final step in the script. Outstanding customer service. And yeah, it's super important when you've got customers all over the world, different time zones, different cultures, all that.
Yeah, makes sense. I'd be worried about, I don't know, like miscommunication or something, or it not living up to their expectations, which might be totally different from like what I'm used to here. So what did the script say? Like, how do you make sure those global customers are happy?
Well, a few things. First off, just being like really clear and prompt with communication. Answer questions quickly, sending detailed order confirmations, giving updates on shipping, all that.
Yeah. And basically take the stress out of it for them, especially with international shipping. There's like more opportunity for things to, go wrong, delays, whatever.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just like the basic stuff. The script also talked about adding those little personal touches. Like imagine getting a package from across the world and there's a handwritten thank you note inside. Or a little extra treat.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Yeah, those little things can make a big difference. It's like suddenly it feels more human, not just a business transaction.
Right. It shows you care, And that could be huge, especially in a global market where you really got to build that trust. But I'm curious, how do you personalize stuff when you're maybe dealing with tons of orders from all over? It seems like a lot.
Yeah, good point. It can't be like writing a novel for every customer.
Right. Well, that's where being organized comes in. The script recommended using those CRM tools, customer relationship management.
CRM, right, okay.
Yeah, they help you like keep track of orders, preferences, even birthdays. Imagine like sending a little birthday discount to your international customers.
Wow, that's next level. Okay, so it's about finding a way to be both efficient and personal, which honestly sounds kind of hard, but with the right tools, it's possible.
Totally. And that's the great thing, right? There's all these resources out there to help bakers, even small-scale ones, reach a global audience.
It really is amazing. Okay, so we've talked about setting up shop, shipping across borders, crafting a global marketing strategy, and of course, providing that top-notch customer service. Feels like we've baked in a whole recipe for global baking success.
We have. And the best part is this recipe, it's adaptable, right? Like every baker is going to have their own unique journey. They're going to focus on different things, target different markets, all that.
Sure, but no matter what, it all starts with passion, right? Passion for baking, passion for sharing your stuff with the world, passion for making people happy. And that's what we'll find through no matter where your customers are.
You said it perfectly. So to everyone listening out there, I'll leave you with this question. What's your flavor? What will your bakery bring to the world? What story do you want to tell?
Yeah, don't be afraid to dream big. Think outside the box. Your cookies could be enjoyed in Paris. Your cakes could be a hit in Tokyo. It's possible.
Exactly. Every global bakery, they all started somewhere. With a single batch, a single order, a single step.
So what are you waiting for? Take that first step and see where it takes you. Who knows? Maybe your treats will be the next global sensation.
Until next time, happy baking and good luck going global.